Whereas when you take server.transfer, the redirection will be taking place from the browser. The redirection will be taking place from the browser, not from the server. Is that clear? Okay. So in response, in server.transfer, the redirection happens where? Server itself, from one page to another page. But when you just talk about response.redirect, the redirection happens from the browser side. So what will happen? I shown you by hitting F12 also. It comes to browser and again goes to server. The redirection happens first, it comes to browser and again from there it goes to the server back again. That is how the server.transfer and response.redirect will execute for us. Is that clear, all of you? Okay. Yeah. So this way I started in the last class, you are transferring control from one page to another page. We can transfer control from one page to another page in a web application that can be performed in two different ways. One is server.transfer, response.redirect. And to do that, I created 3 pages totally: login page, success page, failure page. And this is a login page. And this is a logic what we have implemented. And then success page and failure page, just a blank pages I've just taken there for you, where I set the background colors for the appropriate thing, just to tell you, watch out, the control will go from one page to another page. And this is a picture telling you about the 2 pictures. This is talking about server.transfer and this is talking about response.redirect. Yeah, guys, these are the differences between the two. Already shown you and explained you in the last class. First one. Directly on web server itself, whereas in case of response.redirect, transfer between pages is performed on the browser. So first what will happen, it will come to browser and again go to server. But server.transfer, it won't come to the browser. Directly on the server only, the transfer happens. A second difference. See, undoubtedly, that is faster. Undoubtedly, that's going to be faster. Why is it faster? Because directly on the server only transfer happened and response came up now. Again, you don't come to here and go to the server again now. Are you getting me or not? See, guys, you're taking a TC in your college. You went to the clerk, met him, like you want the TC. You submitted all the documents. And he's asking you, please sit outside few minutes. I will prepare the TC and bring you. And give you. So he prepared the TC. Now on the TC, there should be a principal signature. So after preparing the TC, what he has done is, he went to the principal's cabin. Okay, got it signed, brought it, gave to you. Are you clear? Okay, so what he has done, from his office room, he went to principal's cabin, got it signed, brought, gave to you. Internally, what happened, you don't know. You don't know what happened. So what do you think? The TC is given by your clerk, the office admin. The clerk has given you the TC, but internally that went to the principal cabin, came to you. We don't know all these things. Option two is, the clerk prepared the TC, brought the TC, put in his hands, and said, you need a principal signature. So go to the principal's cabin and get it signed. The clerk from his office came to you now, give the TC to you and telling you, go to the principal's cabin and get it signed now. Now again went to principal's cabin, got it signed and brought it. You understood the difference or not? That is only I said you with response.redirect and server.transfer also now. In server.transfer, what happened? The clerk went to principal's cabin, got it signed and gave to you now. But in the second case, what is it? The clerk gave the TC to you, you went to the principal's cabin to get it signed. Following me or not? That's the difference between server.transfer and response.redirect. Are you guys clear? Excuse me. Three of you. Sit here. Am I clear? Okay, so that's what exactly the difference you'll be noticing between server.transfer and the response.redirect. Hope I'm clear. Third difference here. Clearly, I have shown you this. What is the browser is not aware. Browser is not aware from where the response is coming from. That's where the address, the URL is not updated. The URL is not updated. What do you see? You see the URL as login page only, but you don't see the URL as success page. But response came from success page. So tomorrow, if you want to bookmark, a success page is not bookmarked. What is bookmarked? Login page is bookmarked. Okay, now next. But when you come to server response.redirect, you know why you're coming to browser and again going to server. Bookmarking is possible or not? Shown you in the last class. Okay. Bookmarking is nothing but creating a favorite, adding to the favorites. Next. I have shown this also practically to you. In server.transfer, redirection happens only between the pages of that site only, pages of that site only. But response.redirect, you can redirect to pages of the same site. You can redirect to pages in other site. Last class, remember, I redirected you Facebook. You went to Facebook now? It can, but you cannot do that. Server.transfer, because server.transfer will work within the server only, within the server only, cannot go out of the server. That is the restriction between server.transfer and response. So based on your requirements, we'll use server.transfer sometimes, response.redirect sometimes. Okay. Well, guys, the next thing what we are going to learn today is about the new controls. One is radio button and checkbox. Radio button and the checkbox controls. You use radio buttons and checkbox in your HTML classes now. What is the use of them? Choose the. I did not ask you the difference. I asked you what is the need of radio button and checkbox. Tell that first. Providing the user with a list of options to choose from. We use these two controls to provide the user with a list of options to choose from. We give the list of options and user can select the options from the list now. Are you clear? So both these two controls are used for providing the user with a list of options to choose from. When do we use a checkbox and when do we use the radio button? Checkbox is used when we want to give an option for multi-selection. Radio button is used when you want to give an option for single selection. Okay. So for single selection, say generally gender. Your record to select will be male or female now. So there should be a single selection. Hobbies. A person can have multiple hobbies here. There we use a checkbox. Understood? So when you want single selection, radio button. Multi-selection, checkbox. So let's see how to create them. How to create a checkbox and how to create a radio button, we'll see. Create open the project. Add a web form. Now here, I want to prompt the user for entering few details. What's it? First, I'm asking the user for entering a name, guys. I want to ask the user to enter a name. So name, one text box is what I added. So next I want Zender. I want a Zender option. Okay. So what do you need? Radio button. Come on, how to create a radio button? ASP colon radio button. ID is equals to RB mail. Okay. Run it is equals to server. And now you want to display some text there now, male, female. Text only. Text is equals to male. RB female. Female. And according to the Supreme Court law today, transgender is also legal gender now. So we are adding that particular option also. So all three. So user should select one from the list now. Okay. Now if you look at it, yeah. So just going to fill up the name here. Now we have three options here. So user need to be selecting only one now. But see guys, all are working off. Are all three are working off now? Yes or not? But what is the requirement? Only one should be selected. In HTML, they remember when you want to do this, in HTML, how do we create? First, we use an ID attribute. ID attribute to give a unique name for each and every radio button. And second thing, what we do, we use a name attribute. Second thing is we use a name attribute. And remember, we give the same name for all the controls. Yes or not? ID will be different for each radio button. Name will be same. Tell me three text boxes. Three text boxes will have different ID. Three text boxes will have different name. Yes or not? But here, three radio buttons will have the same name. Same name. But here we don't have a name attribute at all. In our server controls, we don't have a name attribute at all. That's why they added you a different thing called as a group name attribute. They added you something called as group name. What is the group name? Simple, man. You're required to group the controls. You're required to group the controls. How to group the controls? To group the controls, we are provided with something called as a group name attribute. So what we required to do, for all these three, we require to give some common attribute called as group name is equals to something like gender. And this name should be same for all three now. Just like a name, here we give group name. So once you group them, automatically you can go for selecting one from each. Otherwise, when three radio buttons are selected, how will the system understand here you want one to be selected from these three? System don't know that now. I should tell the system, all these three are same only. So allow only single selection. See now, single selection only working now. Are you clear? Suppose tomorrow, I want to add one more option here, man. I want to add one more option here. What is it? Eating habit. Eating habit. So I want to give the options for a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian or a vegan. I want to give the three options here. Okay. So again, ASP colon radio button. ID is equals to RB veg, vegetarian. Run it equal to server. And the text is equals to vegetarian. RB non-veg. And third one I'm giving is a vegan. Vegans, they don't eat anything extracted from animals. They don't eat anything extracted from the animals now. They don't eat ghee, butter, milk, curd. They don't. Everything should be plant extracted. They eat everything only plant extracted. In India, It's not that popular, but in other countries, there are separate restaurants for vegan. Vegan restaurants will be present. Okay, in India, it's not that popular, but in other countries, it's very popular. Vegan separate restaurants will be there. Just like veg, in India, you'll find veg and non-veg restaurants, you'll find vegan restaurants also there. Okay, everything should be plant extracted only, nothing from animals. So that's what. So like this, we can, but now here also, I require to give a group name to group all the three now. Say, if I don't give a group name, now you added 6 radio buttons. How will the system understand? Yeah, what will come under what now? I need to tell to the system by using the group name attribute here. So here I'm giving the group name as something eating habit. Anything, just giving like a eating habit. Okay, you can run and watch. You can select one from the first 3 and one from the next 3. I can select only one from this list now. Are you clear? Next, I want to provide your hobbies. Hobbies. A person can have multiple hobbies here. So you have multi-selection option now. So what should I use this here? Checkbox now. Hobbies. ASP colon checkbox. ID is equals to actually reading. Run it is equals to server. Text is equals to, just want to say as reading books. Playing games. Like something like watching movies. You can add your options. I don't require to give any group name attribute here. I don't have the group name attribute here. So user can select one from this or can select multiple now. You can have any number of habits now. Are you clear? Let me add a button below, guys. Let me add a button below. ASP colon button ID is equals to BTN submit. Run it is equals to server. Text is equals to submit page. Something you like, submit page. Okay. And below this, I want to add a label. ASP colon label ID is equals to LBL message. Run it equal to server. I'm giving a 4 color as red. And I said you in the last session, remember, if you don't give a text, the label won't be visible to users now. Okay. So add a label, but that's not visible to anyone now. So what's my requirement now is very simple, guys. I'm going to enter the name. I'm going to enter the gender. I'm going to enter the eating habit. And afterwards, I want to enter the hobbies. And when you click on the submit button, label is in label has to show me the information. How it has to show you name, the name what I entered. Gender, the gender what I entered. Okay, hobbies. A comma separated eating habit. Eating habit. So like what I selected there. Okay, hobbies. And it has to show me the list of the hobbies what I selected. Okay, like what I selected there, reading books, playing games. Okay, and this is how I'm expecting the output. And remember, guys, what I selected, that only should be shown as an output. Suppose if I did not select the gender option, gender should not come in the output now. Are you clear? I did not select the gender option. Gender should not come. I did not select the eating habit. Eating habit should not come. I did not enter the name. Name should not come. What is selected, that only should be coming. And here, a comma separated list. If I select all the 3, a comma separated list of all the 3 now. Are you clear? This is what exactly I am expecting. Is what exactly I am expecting to get it. Is it clear? Let's do it. Let's do it. And all that should happen in the click of the button. Come on. If not is postback, txt name dot focus. Okay, I want to build a string, man. I want to build a string array by checking what is selected, what is not checked. Like this, I want to build a string now. And remember, when you want to manipulate, strings are not a wise decision to use. What should I use? String builders. We should not use strings. What we should use? String builders. Because strings are immutable. So when you want to manipulate, it should always be a string builder, but not a string. So let me take a string builder. Okay. Now I want to check now. What is it? Whether a value is entered in the text box or not. Whether a value is entered in the text box or not. If, okay, txt name dot text dot string dot length greater than 0. Can you understand the meaning of it? Come on, open the mouth. What is the meaning of it? You are referring to the text in the text box. Afterwards, you are calling trim. So what will trim do? Trim will eliminate any spaces now. Then you are checking the length. If it is greater than 0, what is the meaning? There is something in the text box now. Are you clear? There is something in the text box. If there is something in the text box, sp dot append. sp dot append. Append what? I want to display the name now. How? Name. I want to show the name here. How to get the name? txt name dot text. txt name dot text. Okay. Afterwards, I want a line break. Come to next line now. BR. Is that clear? Okay. And see, that only said if name is entered, only name should show. Otherwise, name should not show me now. So that's what I'm doing. I'm checking whether a value is present or not. If value is present, I'm getting it. Okay. Now, understand, how do we access the value of a text box on the server? How do we access the value of a text box on the server? Visible there, na? By using speak louder here. Speak louder. By using, you understand English, na? I'm telling you, speak louder. How do we access the text box value on the server? Brainless fellows using the text property. Yeah, code is visible there, na? By using text property, by using the text property. How do you access it? Text box txt name dot text. So with that only I'm referring to the text property now. Sorry, the value of the text box now. Same way, how do I access a checkbox or a radio button's value on the server? Did you get me? Radio button is selected or not? Radio button is selected or not? Checkbox is selected or not? That's what I want to check it out now. How do I do? Checked property. What is that? Checked property. For a text box, it is text property. For a checkbox and radio button, it is checked property. You need to use the checked property now to verify whether the checkbox is checked or not, or whether the radio button is checked or not. Are you clear? So come on, let's do it. If rp mail dot checked means it is selected now. Okay, what to do? sp dot append. What do you write? Gender male. Gender is male now. Break. Else if rb hanged up here. Wait. RB female dot check. Gender female. Don't write else here. What will happen if you write else now? If nothing is selected, it will come to else and show you a gender transgender now. Okay. So don't write else. Be careful. You cannot use else. Nothing selected will come up to else now. Else if only. Are you clear? Okay. Next. If RB wedge dot checked. If wedge is checked, ASP dot append eating habit is a vegetarian. Again, a break tag. Next. Non-vegetarian. Vegan dot checked. Eating habit is a vegan. Okay. Now, check boxes. Single selection, multi-selection. I want to get all the values in a comma separated list. Okay, now the challenge is, what is selected? Only one selected, only two selected, only three selected, 1, 2 selected, 1, 3 selected, 1, 2, 3 selected, 2, 3 selected. A lot of combinations here. Are you clear? So a lot of condition checks to be done now. I should check only RB, only first one selected, only second one selected, only third one selected. Next, 1 and 2 selected, 1 and 3 selected, 2 and 3 selected, 1, 2, 3 selected, none selected. Lot of conditions here. Imagine you have 10 check boxes now. Understood or not? And these commas are the challenge now. Putting the commas is the challenge now. Correct? Last one should not have a comma. Very complicated coding, very complicated condition checks to be done. I tell you a simple code. Watch. I am just creating a, sorry. What I'm doing is, remember, we learned about list, array list controls, classes, collections, generic collections and all. I'm taking a list man, list of string, something, some name for it, values is equals to new list of string. Okay. Now I'm writing if CB reading dot checked. If CB reading dot checked, values dot add. I'm adding an item. What is that item? Reading books. Next. If else array single selection, multi selection. Now we write else if here. Your single selection now. So what should be? It should be a checkbox, sorry, if condition, not a else if. You see, else if means either or na. Values dot add. What? Playing games. Playing games. If CB watching dot checked. Watching movies. Alright, tomorrow you have 10 conditions, 10 hobbies like this. Add all the things to this. Add all the things into the list. Is it clear? Everything is added in the list. Tell me now, if none is selected now, if none is selected, then nothing will be in the values now. Values count will be 0. If 1 selected, values count 1, 2 selected, value count 2, 3 selected, values count 3. Correct now? If values dot count greater than 0 means something is selected. Something is selected. Maybe 1 selected, 2 selected, 3 selected, but something is selected. Okay now? Okay. ASP dot append. What do you want to show? Hobbies. Hobbies. And here you want to get a comma separated list of all the hobbies now. Yes or not? Guys, I taught you this, guys. String dot join I already taught you this concept to you. What did you do? Join the values of the string now with a comma separated. So this will take care of the responsibility to put a comma in the last or not. In the last, it won't put a comma. 2 selected. What do you get? 1 comma 2. 1 selected. Only 1. 3 selected. 1 comma 2 comma 3. It will give you all the things like this now. So the whole value is present under SP now. Correct now? In the last time writing LBL message dot text is equals to SB dot toString. So why you converted it again? Because text is a string type, can hold string only. But SP is not a string. SP is a string builder. Finally convert into string and assign to the label. Okay, run and watch. If I don't select anything and click on the button, if I don't select anything and click on the button, I don't see any output there. See, I'm entering the name. I'm entering the eating habit. I did not get the gender. See, now I'm selecting the gender. I'm selecting a hobby. 1 selected, reading books. You can select in any combination. And the commas are not placed now. They're not misplacing now. Using the libraries, we just using the library. That's what we simplified. If you need to write this code, you need to just check it out where the comma should be present. Again, in the last, to remove the comma. It will become a lengthy process. The simplest way to do it is I used a list first, added all the things in the list. Tomorrow, the advantage of doing this is tomorrow 100 checkboxes are there. I don't require to write number of conditions here now. For everything, one item. Selected, add it in the list now. So there are 100 checkboxes now, 10 selected. All the 10 will be in the list. What do you do finally? Comma separated and just doing it. How did we do that? And I already explained about string.join for you in the collections classes already about it. I did not show you anything new, guys. I explained about lists in the collections. I explained about string.join also in the collections. And that only I used it and displayed the output to you on the screen now. Is it clear? Why comma is not added between playing games? Did not understand your question first. Why comma is not added between playing games? Playing games is 1 value only, not 2 values. What is playing underscore game now? That is not 2 values, that is only 1. Okay, first you need to understand what is the string here. Afterwards, you need to raise this question. This is a whole string. These are not 2 strings. This is 1 string. These are not 2 strings to add a comma between reading books. Reading books is 1 string only, not 2 strings. Okay. And these are present in the list. This is present in the first cell of the list. This is present in the second cell of the list. And this is present in the third cell of the list. It is adding commas not between strings. It is adding commas between items of the list. Got it or not? It is not adding commas between strings here. It is adding commas between items on the list. What is the first item of the list? Reading books. There are not 2 items, 1 item only. This is the second item. This is the third item. It is adding commas between the items of the list now. Okay. Okay. Are you clear with RadioButtons and checkboxes? Okay. So first point you need to understand is we use these 2 controls to provide the user with a list of values to choose from. Second point. While using RadioButtons generally should use for single selection. But if you want to use it for single selection, you're required to set up a property called as group name. Third point. To read the checkbox or RadioButton values on the server, use the checked property. Use the checked property. This checked property will tell you whether the item is checked or not checked. We need to use the checked property now to find out it is selected or not selected. Is it clear? Next. The next thing is ListControls, guys. ListControls. What are ListControls? Are ListControls are used or like checkbox and RadioButton only? ListControls are also like checkbox and RadioButton only, used for providing the user with a list of values and user can select now. But when can I use the checkbox and when do I use radio buttons? When do I use checkbox and radio buttons? If the number of values are less, 5 values, 10 values, imagine 100 values. 100 values are there to choose now. Your screen is filled with your radio buttons and checkboxes only now. Looks awkward. It looks awkward, yeah. 100 radio buttons, 100 checkboxes, screen is filled with them only. Yes or not? When you have more number of values, then go for using list controls. When you have less number of values, then go for using checkbox and radio button. But don't forget, checkbox and radio button as well as list controls. All these are used for providing the user with a list of values. So user can select from the list now. I give you the list. Select from the list. In both the cases, you cannot enter your values. You can only select your values. Okay? Lesser number, radio button checkbox. Huge number, list controls. List controls, not list box, list controls. And when you come to list controls, there are 4 list controls here. First one, drop down list. All of you know drop down list now? It is a drop down list, man. It is what we call as a drop down list. From this list, remember, you can only use a single selection. Drop down list supports only single selection. What do you call this in your HTML? Select. Select control. We call it as a select. And for select, we have an attribute called multiple is equals to true. When I said multiple is equals to true, what it creates here? List box. What it creates here? List box. So this is for single selection. This is for multi-selection. These 2 are extra added for you in ASP.NET web forms. What is it? Radio button list, checkbox list. What is this? In radio button list here, beside every item, a radio button is added. In checkbox list, beside every item, a checkbox is added. Now also, this is also for single selection only. This is also for multi-selection only. So remember, drop-down list and radio button list, single selection. List box and checkbox list, multi-selection. The only difference is these are plain text. These are text with a radio button or a checkbox before the text. So before the radio button list, we find a radio button. And for checkbox list, for every item, we'll find a checkbox. Other than that, there is nothing difference between drop-down list and radio button list, list box and checkbox list. 1 and 3 for single selection, 2 and 4 for multi-selection. Is that clear? You can read the description. Understand, default visible items are 1. What is that? You can see only 1 item only here. When you use a drop down, only multiple items will come. Default visible item is 1 only. And number of items you can select is 1. Next, list box. You know, list box now. Scroll bar will come. At a time it will show you 3 or 4 items. You can use scroll bar and select multiple now. Next. Remember guys, here also default visible items is multiple, not 1. Default visible items is multiple, but number of selections is 1. Last one. You can clearly read 1 and 3, 1 selection. 3, 2 and 4, multiple selection. But how the look is different, that's all. Okay, fine. Now, I'm adding a page, a new page now. We'll name it as list controls. Let me take a web form. Let me name it as list controls 1.aspx. Okay, now let me add all the 4 controls on the screen, man. First one. What was the first one? Drop down list. Second, list box. Radio button list. Last, checkbox list. All 4. Don't run them. You cannot see them. Why? No values in them. Design you can see is a drop down list. Single. See now, multiple items list of multi selection. Yeah. Beside every item, you will find a radio button. Yeah. Beside every item, you will find a checkbox. Understood all of you? Okay. I placed all the four. So I want to see the behavior of these controls now. I want to see how do they work. Well, you can see. But first add values in them. Add values into the list box. Let's add values into them. See. What we are talking? We use these controls for providing the users with a list of values to choose from. Okay, now we use these controls for providing the users with a list of values to choose from. Okay. Now, the first of this particular thing is the first item in this is, yeah, all the four I said you. What is the first one? Drop down list. Second one. Third one. Radio button list. Fourth one. Checkbox list. Clear? Now, listen to this carefully. Contents of a list control are known as list items. Read that. Speak louder here. Some of you are not opening the mouth. Kerala of the classroom cannot open the mouth. There are some contents in the control there. We call them as list items. Items, you can also call contents or items of a list control are known as list item. Is it clear? Okay. That is, every item is a list item. Every item is a list item. Okay, listen. List item is a class. List item is a class. So we need to create instance of this class and add to the list control. Are you clear? So once again, I'm repeating you. Contents or items of list control are known as list items. That is, every item is a list item now. Every item is a list item. Second point, list item is a class. So we need to create instance of this class and add to the list. Okay. So we will create it here. Class means entity now. Class means entity or not? And entity has attributes now. Okay. List item class is associated with 4 attributes. List item class is associated with 4 attributes. Those are, what are 4 attributes? First one, text. Second one, value. Third one, selected. Fourth one, checked. So what is that, sir? Text. Text means what is visible to user. What is visible to user? See, look here. You're seeing something. IES Express, web browser, script debugging. This is the text now. Are you clear? Then what is value, sir? Value means an ID. Value means an ID. Suppose tomorrow I have a drop down list here. In the drop down list, I'm showing some employee names now. I'm showing some 10 employee names. Every employee is a name. Correct now? But remember, guys, a simple common sense to apply. We never identify an employee by a name. We identify the name by the ID of the employee, not the name of the employee, because multiple people can have the same name. So ID should be there. Are you clear? So what is value? Value refers to the ID. Value refers to the ID. Okay, text refers to the name. But tell me, end user understands name or idea? End user doesn't understand ID. Yeah. End user understands name only. But system doesn't understand name. System understands ID. So that is why we will be having something called as a text, what is visible. We'll be having something called a value which is not visible. Same example I shown you 2 days back with your button control also. Command name. Command name is something we associated not visible to user. Text is visible. Command name is not visible. So this is also something like that only. Are you clearer or not? Okay. That is what. Text means what is visible. Value means the value behind which is not visible. The value behind which is not visible. Third one. It's a Boolean property, guys. It's a Boolean property with the default value as false. What is this, sir? If I make it true, you have the 10 items in this. What should be the default selected? I'm asking you a question, man. You have 10 items in it. What should be the default selection? By default, default selection will be first item. Yes or not? No. I want the 5th item to be selected. I want the 5th item to be selected. So for the 5th item, I require to set the selected as true. I should set the selected as true. So by default, first item shows now. But if I set the 5th item selected true, it won't show first item now. Default item will be 5th item. Clearer or not? Okay. That is what? Oh, sorry. That is checked. Selected. Selected only. The other one is not checked. Enabled, I think. It's enabled. Not checked, guys. It's enabled. What is enabled? Enabled in the sense, this also is a default value, false. True. Default value, true. What is this? What this means? The value is enabled. If you make it false, this value will not be visible to users. So you have a drop-down list with 10 products here. One product is out of stock now. One product is out of stock. I don't want to show to the user. When I set enabled as false, we are not deleting that, guys. We are making it invisible to user. That item is in the list, but user cannot see. Tomorrow, you can again make it as true and make it visible to user. If you don't set these two, they have default value. What is the default value? False and true. Are you clearer or not? So what is our responsibility now? We should create the instance of the list item class and add it to the list control. Shall we do that? Okay. I'll show you what's it. We can do this in 4 ways. Sorry, not 4 ways, 5 ways. We can do this in 5 different ways. How, sir? Option 1. You can throw the design view. Design view. Shall I add values into the drop-down list using the design view now? Select the drop-down list. F4. Property window will come now. In this, you will find a property called as items. Can you see that? A button is added, see? Click on it. A window will open. What is it asking you? List item collection editor. Click on one item is added, see? See now, all the 4 what I said. Enabled and software have the default value, see? I don't require to specify them. What you require to specify is only country and value. When to specify them, you want to change specify the 2, otherwise leave them like that only. Got it or not? Come on, let me enter a list of countries, man. A list of countries. Country. And the value I'm giving C1. Come on, let me add. Add you 5 more items. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Not country. I want to add the country there. India. C1. Japan. C2. Oh, sorry. C3. Yeah, guys, you can add it. You want it tomorrow, you can shuffle these positions also. I want to move this up. It's an editor where you can just edit whatever you want in this. Is it clear? Okay, now see everything has 4 attributes. See, each choice that your default values are there. If you don't specify, default value will come. So now, what is the default selection? Say India. But guys, I want America as a default selection now. Come here. Select it row. Click OK. America. Is that clear? I just want to remove it. False. Click OK. India. Hope you guys are clear. What next? One way is how to add the values. Actually, when you add using the list item collection editor, it will write you the ASPX code in the source view now. It will write you the ASPX code in the source view. Go to source view and watch, guys. Writing all the code. Sir, enabled and selected are not there. Why do you want, man? Default values are there, na? I don't require. Are you clear? Sir, can I write this code on my own? Can I write this code on my own now? Yeah, you too can write. Shall we try for the list box now? I want to add a list of states. I want to add a list of states now. Come on. Just like how this is doing, I can also do. ASP colon list item. See, it is giving value text inside now. You can do like this. Or you can give directly attributes are showing here, see. Showing here. You can directly type of, see, text is equals to, I can type text is equals to, and I want to type a text here, Kerala. Value is equals to, yes, one. This is also right only. This is also right only. But this is simple now. That is simple. Okay. You can type it like this. Is it clear? You can add your own values now in the list. You can add your own values in the list here. Just let us give some yes to. 4, 5, and 6. So the second way of finding the values now. See ya. But here, one item is only shown. But here, multiple items are shown. You can see multiple items in the list. Here are next. Third way of adding. It is through code view. Third way of adding is through code view. Using code view also we can add the values. How's that? We'll try for RadioButton list now. You can add like this. RadioButton list one dot items dot add. Simple English, man. RadioButton list one dot items dot add. It is an overload method. It is an overload method. And see this, guys. One overload is taking means create a list item instance and pass to it. Second overload is taking string item. Suppose if at all I'm just passing Delhi. Internally, it will create the instance of the list item. Internally, it will create the instance of the list item. And in this process, the text and value are same. Text is also Delhi only. Value is also Delhi only. Got it or not? Text is also Delhi, value is also Delhi. Who will create the instance? The method will create the instance for you with the text as Delhi, value as Delhi. Remaining two defaults, you know that. Okay. So like this, you can just add it. You can even try like this, man. But radio button list one dot items dot add. What is the other option you have? Takes a list item now. When do we use it? I want to give a different values, or I don't want the same value. The text and value both are same now, but I want to give a different value. New list item, and see, man, you have an option to specify your own text and your own value. Overload again now. If I use this, again same, text and value will be same. I want to give my own text, my own value. One more overload. You can give your own text, your own value, your own enabled also. All can be given. Okay. So like I'm giving my own text here, Chennai. And coming to the value, I want to give it as city 4. So my own text and my own value now. Okay. So Hyderabad. See, watch it, all of you. Single selection only, but there is a radio button beside. There is a radio button, what you can see beside it now. Clear? Are you clear with the 3 options I shown you till now? One is design view, one is source view, one is code view. 5 ways of 5 options are there. 4 is also code only. 4 is also code. What is that? There is another method called as add range. Add range. What this method will take? You can pass an array of list items. You can pass an array of list items. How do we do that? Just observe it carefully. Create the list item class instance. Item 1 is equals to new list item 1. Two, 3, 4, 5. Blue, green, yellow, magenta. Yeah, 5 colors. What next? What am I doing? Creating an array. Creating an array with a size of 5. With a size of 5. And I am adding the values to it now. What? Item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, and item 5. Here, now come here. See the steps. What is the first step? Create one instance for each item now. Create one instance for each item. How many items? 5 instances are created. Second step, create an array of list items and add all the items into it. Create an array of list items and add all the items into it. Last step, add the array to the radio button list. Add the array to the radio button list. Did you understand me? Talking to you only. Are you clear? So what is the first step? Create a instance for each item you want to add. Second step, create an array and add all the items into it. Third step, add the array to the this one. We can write this code in a simplified way. We can write this code in a simplified way. Okay, what is that? Watch it, all of you. Just concentrate on this. What did you do? You created instances and you added the instances here right now. Without that, you can write set unnamed instances here. We did not give item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. Directly in the place of item 1, what did you write? New list item. See here, how did you write? Item 1. Now we replace it with new list item. So there are 5 instances now, and finally this items array came now. You're adding it in. So I minimized it now. Earlier 3 steps, now 2 steps. First step, second step. Is it clear? You can write this still simple. First only if I show directly, it will be confusing to you. That's why I was showing you step by step how you can minimize the code. Understood? Huh? Yes or not? Add range. No. List item. No need to specify the size, guys. When you assign values, you don't require to specify the size now. When you assign values, no need to specify the size. New list item. Curly braces. Under that, the array items. See, this is first, directly for write like this, it will be confusing to you. That's why I explained you the process. First, I created 5 instances. Again, I added each time to array. Finally, I added the array to this. Second, I said you what? In the array only, I created list items. Third one, in add range only, I created the array. In that only, I created the list item. All are unnamed instances. All are unnamed. Here we give the name item 1, item 2, item 3 here. Items, here we don't have any names at all. Understood? Work same only, see? Oh, radio button we taken, huh? Oh, okay, guys. Let's change to checkbox list. I showed you 4 options of adding values now. Whatever I show for 1 applies to remaining 4 also. Without showing 4 items with each, I showed you one option with each control for you, that's all. But whatever I show in 1 applies to remaining 3 also. Understood? See, all these are checkboxes. Sorry, radio buttons. These are all checkboxes. See here, multi-selection. And here, single selection. Here, single selection. Here, multi-selection. Not working. Not working. Generally, to select a second value, you should use a control key. Not working here. Multi-selection is not working. I'll tell you why. But first, am I clear till now? What did I explain here? What is list control? How many list controls are there? I said here. Then I said here, the values of list control are called as list items. Every list item has 4 attributes. So if you want to add an item, you should create an instance of the list item and add. Okay, and to do that, I said you 4 different options till now. One is using source view, design view. Second one, source view. 3 and 4 code view. One is items.add method, one is items.add range method. Whatever it is, we have just done and added the values into the list controls. We have one more option, I'll tell you that. Okay. Now, let me explain you the behavior of the controls, man. Let me explain you the behavior of these controls. Okay, concentrate here. First one is drop down list. First one is drop down list. How many items it will show? One item. How many you can select? One item. Next one is list box. How many items it can show? More than one. And the number of items that are visible here is controlled by a property called as rows. How many items are visible by default? 4 now? No, I want only 3 items to be visible by default. I want only 3 items to be visible by default. I can set up the property called as rows property and control this. See that, guys? Default rows are 4. Make it 3. Save it. Come here. Okay, now? And this by default supports only single selection. This by default supports only, but you can change to multi-selection. You can change to multi-selection. How, sir? There is a property called as selection mode. Watch it, all of you. Default is single. Changing to multiple. Save it. Refresh. Come on, I'll select UC. Allowing it supports your single, it supports your multiple. Clear? But default is single, but you can change to multiple. Next, radio button list. You already noticed it. It shows your radio button beside every item, and the number of items you can select is 1 only. The number of items you can select is 1 only. Nothing to explain about the behavior, but understand about the layout. Understand about the layout. Actually, when you're creating this control, what happens internally, Internally, how many radio buttons are there? 6 radio buttons, correct now? Internally, it renders a table, man. Internally, it renders a table with 6 rows, where every row has 1 column. Array, that's a table here. See, to design our UIs, we are creating tables now. Same only. Your server rendered a table now. How many rows? 6 rows. How many columns? 1 column in each and every one. If you want to see that, right click, go to view page source, and guys, you can observe this here. Check it out here. Table. TR, TD. How many TDs are there? 1 only. 6 rows, and you have the appropriate TDs. 1 row has only 1 column. Understood? Actually, this rendering can be changed. You can change the rendering process. How can I change? There are 4 options available here to choose the layout you want. There are 4 options available for choosing the layout you want. See that? Second option is flow layout. What is flow layout? Flow layout in the sense, what you type in the notepad is a flow layout. In a sense, if you start typing something like this, so automatically what happens? The next item comes in the next beside. Once you go to the end, automatically comes to next line. Are you clear? Once the place is not sufficient there, automatically comes to next line. That is called as a flow layout. That is called as flow layout. Okay. So I can change to flow. I will show you the behavior of the flow. Just a minute. I'll show you. Unordered list. Check it out, guys. There is a bullet. See? There is a bullet beside the item now. Save. Unordered list. Unordered list is created now. Check it out. It's not a table. Why you put sad faces here? Irritating looking at your faces. I'm getting irritation looking at your faces. Sad faces like this. Showing you something and you're not following, you're not showing any interest in learning anything at all. And you want to become a software engineer, you want to get a 41 with your own salaries again. And you don't focus and concentrate first. See there, what is that? Unordered list. Earlier, table. Now another list. If you don't learn properly, you can't do anything going forward. Concentrate. What I'm saying you. There is another option. What is that? Ordered list. What is ordered list? Array, numbers will come now. You can see the numbers here. Go and check. Order list. Is that clear? We got the order list here. Okay. Flow I did not show you. I'll show you flow also. Just a minute. There is another thing called as repeat direction, man. Repeat direction. And two directions are there. Vertical, horizontal. Default is vertical. Now you're saying vertical, is it? I can change to horizontal. But be careful. When I change to horizontal, what is the repeat layout? Ordered list and unordered list cannot show horizontal in a. Yes or not? Ordered list and unordered list will work only in the vertical mode. Correct now? See error rendering. Clearer up. See, listen carefully. When using vertical, okay, all these options can be selected. All these options can be selected. But when you are using horizontal, you can only select two options. What is it? Table and flow. What happens if I say table? If you say table, what happens? It creates you one row with 6 columns. It will create you one row with 6 columns. Check out. Earlier, 6 rows, but here, 1 row, 6 columns. You can go to view page source and observe it, all of you. 1 TR only there, see. Use the line wrap here so that you will see all the things. See now, every item is added in the form of a TD. One item is added in the form of a TD now. Okay. Now, what is the flow layout, sir? We did not understand till now about the flow layout. I am changing to flow, guys. Table won't be there now. I said, it keeps on adding the items. Once it reaches the last, automatically jumps to next line. Automatically jumps to next line. Here, see. Just no table, nothing. With a span tag, it is using and showing you all the content beside it. No table. Are you clear? You'll understand about this much better now. Watch. Now, I'll tell you the third property now. Two properties are clear till now. What to? Repeat layout, repeat direction. There's one more thing called as repeat columns. Now, you are having suppose imagine, you're having a table layout and your repeat direction is horizontal. But horizontal means all the 6 columns coming in 1 row only. But I'm telling, I want 3 columns in each row. I want 3 columns in each row. See the difference, guys. 2 rows, 3 columns in each. Alright, adding for unit table format like this now. Go and check everything. You record, go to view page source and observe how the output is getting rendered. See, 1 TR, second TR. 2 rows, 3 columns. Okay. Now, for me, the margins for each cell is correctly aligned or not? See the vertical margins, all these are perfectly aligned now. Now you'll understand what is flow layout. Observe it. What is flow now? Flow. That is called flow. And when you end the first word, you put a space and start the second word now. Yes or not? That's what flow layout means. See, once the first one stopped here, second one started automatically. But see, these 2 cells are not aligned properly. But you saw that in the table, alignment is proper. Do you understand what is flow layout now? Generally, we don't use flow layout here. Mainly what we use is table layout or an ordered list or an unordered list. Okay. So I want to get this in 3 rows. If you get in 3 rows, then 2 columns now. Are you clear? Whatever I taught you. Okay, I'm changing again to table man. Whatever I taught you with the radio button list applies to checkbox list also. All three same for checkbox. Both are same only, na? Okay, so you can go there. Repeat columns, three. Repeat direction, horizontal. Repeat layout, table. Come on. You can fit them. Hope you guys are clear. Understood all of you? This is how you use these controls. Did you understand the behavior of the controls? So guys, you can observe it. First, I explained about all the four. All the four. Then I study about list item class and the attributes of it. And you can see text refers to display member. Value refers to value member. Enable is a boolean. Default value true. And setters false. This item is not visible. Selected is boolean. Default value false. Setters true. Default selection. To work with this, I taken listcontrols.aspx and I done it. And I started adding list items into list control. First option how I added it is by using design view. Clearer or not? Try one. I given the notes. Try design view. Click on the new. It will add you an item. Go and set the values. Guys, these are the values you are going to set it. Clearer or not? Whatever you want, you add, man, that your choice. And this will generate you this code now. This is a code it is generated for you. Second option, I said you. You too can write this code manually. Third option, code view. How to add? There are two overloads available. Items got add. String item. Items got add. List item. And I see there, I added 3 by using the first overload. I added the 3 by using the second overload. Okay, now? And fourth option. Add range. Add range. What it takes? List item array. And you can observe, guys, I shown you 3 ways of writing the code now. Watch. First, I created all the instances. Second, I created a list item array. Add it. Okay. Second option, I said you can simplify and write this code like this. Create an array. All the things. Third option, you can write in one line only. You can write in one statement only. Checkbox one items add range, new list item of, and you. I given all the 3, man. Try all the 3. Understand the code correctly first. Don't blindly type off. What is the first one? What is the second one? What is the third one? I given all the 3. Try all 3 options over there. And then I explained you. Read. Single selection. Next. Whereas if you want multi-selection, then default is single. You're going to change it to multiple. Third one. Like a drop-down list. You saw that the radio button. Same for this also. This control works same as radio button list, but the only difference is it supports multi-selection with a checkbox beside each and every item. Read this. Specify the are laid out. Horizontal. Next. Default table now, but can be changed to flow, order list, unordered. Read the content of the braces. Shown you clearly. It doesn't work for vertical, it works only for, sorry. It will not work for vertical, it will work only for, I'm sorry, I'm reversing. It works only for vertical, will not work for horizontal. How many you want the columns now? Okay, fine. Are you clear till now? Now, guys, you have list controls now. Users will select something now. Or you want to access in your code. Morning only we talked. How to access text box value, text property. How to access a list box, radio button checkbox value, check it property. Same way, how to access list control values. User selected something and clicked on the submit. I want to read the values now. How to read them? Okay. Listen, we have multiple properties available for this here. Perform this. What do you want to access? All the values are selected items. Huh? Sometimes you may need to access all items also. Sometimes you may need to access all items also. There is a property called as items. This provides you an array of all the list items. When I call this property now, radio button list 1 dot items, you'll get all the items now in the form of a list item array. List item array. So no, sir, I want to access only selected item, not all items. You don't want all? No. What do you want? Only selected item. No problem. Selected item. Selected item. Any guess what it returns? List item, man. Why selected item? Property name is selected item. You can use a selected item only. What it returns here? One list item. Items will return you all list items. Selected item will return you one list item. Are you clear? Next. You can use text property as well as you can use selected value property. I'll tell index also, just a minute. We have a property called selected value, man. What it returns you? It returns you the value. Or it returns the value of the selected item. It returns the value of the selected item. Okay, return type string. And don't forget, guys, what it returns you? Only value. Here it returning a list item. List item is what you will get here. You will get text. You will get value. You will get enabled. You will get selected. All four will come. But here what we get? Only string, means only value. Same way, guys, we have a property called as text. What it returns? String. But unfortunately, when you look at the text, what you think is you'll get text now? No, guys. Now also you get value on. Now also you get value on. Property name is text, but what it returns is value. Same like this we have return type. The index of the item selected now. You'll get the index of the item selected. Is that clear? Okay. Next we have get selected indices. Can you understand the difference between selected index and get selected indices? It is like selected item and items. Selected item means one. Items means all. Correct? You're also saying selected index means one. Get selected indices means all. Are you clear? But difference is first five are properties and sixth one is method. Sixth one is a method, guys. Are you clear? How to use I'll tell you, but first one, items. List control dot items. In the place of list control, write any of the four names now. Radio button list or checkbox list or whatever it is. What it returns you? List item array. Second one. How do I use? Returns you? It contains a text, not only this one here, not only text and value. Text, value, enabled, and selected. All four will come. Okay, next. Selected value. Only value. String. Written type of string. Text. What did I say? Only value. Now also you see only value. Integer. Index of the item. Next. Integer array. array of all the items. Okay, and one thing carefully listen. This property can be used only on list box. First five can be used on all the controls, but the last one can be used only on list box. Read this. This is a method. See, first five are properties, man. Clearly mentioned you. This property like this. But here, method present under list box control that returns an array of indices corresponding to the selected item. Understood? And see my typing also. Here I typed you list control, but here I typed you list box dot, because this property is specific to list box, but the 5 applies to all 4. The 5 applies to all the appropriate 4. Okay, see, the first 5 members are available under all the controls, whereas the last member gets selected indices is specific to list box control. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. Well, you have a doubt now. What is that? I'll show you. We'll create one example and I will show you how to get the values of all the appropriate things. And I said you there are 5 ways of adding the values, but I shown only 4. Yes or not? I shown only 4. 1 in the design we have shown you, 1 in the source we have shown you, 2 in the code we have shown you. 5th is also in code view only. But what is the 5th option, you know? Loading values from a data source. Loading values from a data source, not a database, data source, where the data source can be a file, the data source can be a database, anything. Remember, I said you once earlier, where do you store the data? Don't say database. What you should say? Data source. File is also data source only. We'll understand more in detail about it in the database programming, but we don't know database programming now. I will show you loading data from a file. Are you clear? I will show you loading data from a file. What file? XML file. I already given you introduction to XML in the day before yesterday session. I remember XML, JSON. I will talk more in detail about the XML in next class, and we will see how to load the data from XML and display in the list control. Same process going forward. We will do it from a database table. 100,000 million values are there. Will come into the list controls now. Are you clear? After doing that, I will show you how to use all these properties and access the values now. You will select something now. I want to access this on the server. I'll show you using all the things. But meanwhile, first we try up to here. That behavior and all the things I shown you, try. In the next example, I'll show you accessing this on the server also. Okay. Let's stop here. We'll meet tomorrow. Yogesh, enable is to visibility. It is about visibility, not selection. For selection, it is selected property. Enable is for visible. No, Anand. No. It's not in MVC. Authentication and authorization is not for even MVC classes.